Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much.
What if your biggest enemy isn't the world, but your own hesitation? Have you ever wondered how another year can pass without real change, even though you try? The truth is simple. Success doesn't wait, and neither should you. Time is the most precious resource we have, irreplaceable, limited, and constantly slipping away. It's not luck that leads to success. It's not chance or circumstance. It's the daily, deliberate actions we choose to take. When another year fades without meaningful progress, the root cause isn't found in the outside world, it lies within. It's the lack of decisive action, the absence of clear direction, and the invisible chains of limiting beliefs we place on ourselves. But once we recognize that truth, everything changes. Awareness gives you power. Today, you're standing at a crossroads. One path keeps you stagnant, repeating the same patterns. The other invites you to redefine your journey with purpose and clarity. And clarity, when combined with committed action, becomes unstoppable. It's not magic, it's momentum. Let this moment be your spark. The clock never pauses, and neither should your dreams. Embrace the urgency. Let go of hesitation. This is your turning point. Not just another resolution, but a revolution in mindset, discipline, and habit. And it all begins here. Step 1. The power of having a clear purpose. Many people drift through life like ships without a compass, hoping that success will somehow find them. But success doesn't work that way. It never shows up by accident. It starts with a powerful, well-defined vision. A goal so clear that it influences every choice, every step, and every single action you take. Without that vision, life becomes a loop, repeating the same routines, the same frustrations, and the same missed opportunities. But with purpose, that loop is broken. A compelling goal breathes life into your actions and gives direction to your energy. It's the difference between wandering aimlessly and moving intentionally. Look at anyone who's achieved something extraordinary. Regardless of background, they all share one thing: clarity. They know exactly where they're going. And because of that, every decision they make becomes a step toward that destination. Those who achieve greatness don't stumble into success. They operate with absolute precision. They don't drift, hoping that life's current will eventually push them somewhere meaningful. Instead, they set their own course, anchored by purpose, guided by clarity, and aimed at a destination they've chosen for themselves. Take Edwin C. Barnes, for example, a man consumed by one burning desire: to work alongside the legendary inventor Thomas Edison. Barnes had no money, no powerful network, and no visible path to get there. But he had something more powerful than any of that: a clear, unwavering vision. He didn't just wish to meet Edison. He saw himself as his partner. That was the picture he held in his mind. That was the direction he set his life toward. With nothing but determination and a dream he refused to abandon, Barnes made his way to Edison's laboratory. He persisted day after day, month after month, until he finally earned an opportunity. And it wasn't luck. It was clarity. His sharply defined purpose gave him the endurance to keep pushing forward until the door finally opened. Eventually, his persistence paid off, and he became exactly what he envisioned: Thomas Edison's trusted business partner. This is the power of clearly defined goals. When you write your goals down, something shifts. Dreams that once floated aimlessly in your mind become grounded. They become visible. They gain weight. And most importantly, they gain urgency. Unwritten goals tend to vanish, buried beneath daily distractions and forgotten in the rush of everyday life. But when your objectives live on paper, they demand attention. They turn hope into strategy. They set deadlines, and they hold you accountable. Think about it. How many months or even years have slipped by without real progress, simply because you didn't define what you truly wanted? When your vision is vague, time passes unnoticed. One year blends into the next, And before you realize it, you're in the exact same place you were 12 months ago, with the same regrets, the same someday dreams. To break free from that cycle, start by asking yourself the questions that matter. What exactly do you want to achieve in the next 12 months? Who do you intend to become? And more importantly, how will your life look and feel when that transformation takes place? Taking the time to answer these questions truthfully and vividly will ignite a spark inside you. These answers are more than just words. They are fuel that drives your daily actions with purpose, clarity, and momentum. When you know why you're doing something, you're far less likely to delay or get distracted. Purpose isn't just a concept. It's the engine behind real progress. It pushes through procrastination. It powers past discouragement. And it helps you rise above the inevitable obstacles that appear on any worthwhile path. Just think of the world changers, the inventors, the elite athletes, the entrepreneurs who've reshaped history. Do you think they waited for the perfect moment for luck to find them? Of course not. They cultivated an inner fire, a fierce, unwavering desire that pulled them forward day after day. That desire, anchored by purpose, is what transformed their ideas into achievements that changed the world. Having a clear and defined purpose doesn't just motivate you, it fortifies you. Challenges lose their power when you're locked in on your vision. Setbacks become temporary, even useful, because your goal is stronger than your fear. Every obstacle becomes a lesson, not a wall. Every failure becomes a stepping stone, not an ending. And there's another powerful benefit. Clarity simplifies your decisions. When your goal is firmly in place, choices become easier. You're no longer guessing. You're guided. Any action that aligns with your vision becomes the obvious path forward. Anything else? It's just noise. This laser-focused approach keeps your energy concentrated and your momentum steady, helping you move forward instead of spinning in circles. Take a moment and reflect. What's the last meaningful goal you actually achieved? Chances are you had a clear picture of what success looked like. That vivid mental image likely kept you motivated, helping you navigate distractions and make consistent progress. Now think about a time you felt aimless, lacking direction, just going through the motions. Notice the difference? Think back to that time when you didn't have a clear goal. How easily did you fall into the trap of procrastination, distractions, and endless indecision? The difference between drifting and driving with purpose is staggering. And that contrast reveals a powerful truth. Clarity isn't just helpful, it's transformational. Now is the moment to act with intention. No more waiting. Begin by painting a vivid picture of what you want your life to look like 1 year from today. What do you see? Be specific. The more detailed your vision, the more magnetic it becomes. Then, don't just think about it. Write it down. Commit to reviewing it often. Let that vision become your compass, the steady force pulling you forward each and every day. Because here's the reality. Your future is shaped not by luck or outside forces, but by the clarity you choose today. Every day that passes without clear direction quietly builds into months and eventually years of missed opportunity. But each day lived with focused purpose compounds into a life rich with meaning and achievement. The moment you clearly define your vision is the moment you take control. That's when your dreams shift from abstract hopes to concrete plans. The road ahead? It's yours to shape. With intentional clarity, your potential expands. Your actions gain weight. Your energy finds direction. Each decision, each moment, and every step you take moves you closer to the future you envisioned. One built by design, not by chance. So commit, starting today, to live with clear purpose. Define your goals. Chase them with determination. And watch how quickly the impossible starts to become real. Because with a definite purpose, even one focused year can transform everything. This is the foundation of a mindset that attracts success. And where does that mindset begin? Not in luck, not in timing, but in your thoughts. Every result you experience, whether triumph or failure, traces back to one thing: the thoughts you choose to entertain. Your mindset is the lens through which you interpret the world. It influences how you act, how you decide, and ultimately, how your life unfolds. Your thoughts shape your behavior, and your behavior, in turn, determines your results. It all begins in the mind, when negative thoughts, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs take hold. They form invisible barriers. These mental walls blur your vision, block opportunities, and quietly sabotage your potential. You might not even realize it's happening until another door closes or another chance slips away. But on the other side of that mental divide is a different mindset altogether, one built on confidence, optimism, and belief in possibility. These are the thoughts that open doors, that draw success toward you like a magnet. They don't just make you feel good. They shift your perspective, allowing you to see paths and options that once seemed invisible. Highly successful people understand this truth at a deep level. They don't see their mind as a passive space. They treat it as the master architect of their reality. Because of that, they choose their thoughts carefully. They practice optimism with intention. They seek solutions instead of fixating on problems. And they foster a mindset of continual growth rather than settling for where they are. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. Achieving a success-oriented mindset requires consistent, conscious effort. It's a daily discipline. You have to become aware of your internal dialogue and actively rewrite it. That means replacing negative self-talk with affirmations, statements that reinforce your abilities, your worth, and your potential. It's not just about what you say to yourself. It's about what you start to believe. And your environment matters too. Surrounding yourself with uplifting, inspiring people, those who challenge you to grow and encourage you to rise, is essential. The wrong voices can drain your energy, pulling you back into doubt. But the right voices, they build your strength, reinforce your optimism, and fuel your momentum. Just as your body needs nutritious food to thrive, your mind needs nourishment too. Feed it with powerful books, thought-provoking seminars, and meaningful conversations. The more you engage with ideas that stretch your thinking, the more your mindset begins to evolve. Little by little, you rewire your mental landscape. And over time, that new mindset becomes the foundation of lasting success. To truly flourish, your mindset must be consistently fed with the right fuel. Just as a car needs the right fuel to accelerate, your mind needs uplifting, growth-oriented content to thrive. When you regularly expose yourself to ideas that inspire and challenge you, you lay the foundation for mental strength, lasting clarity, and a well of motivation that doesn't easily run dry. Yet despite knowing how vital mindset is, many people let years slip by in quiet frustration. Why? Because fear and doubt quietly take control. Fear of failure keeps them from trying. Fear of judgment silences their voice. And fear of the unknown locks them in place, stuck between desire and hesitation. These fears form an invisible prison, creating a cycle of inaction and regret, where nothing changes and time keeps passing. But those who cultivate a mindset geared for success see fear in a completely different light. For them, fear isn't a warning to retreat. It's a signal to lean in. It's a sign that growth is near. Rather than stepping back, they move forward boldly, even when they're uncertain. They understand that beyond fear is the very breakthrough they've been searching for. Highly successful individuals don't chase comfort. They embrace discomfort, knowing that major breakthroughs don't happen in familiar territory. They step outside the predictable and challenge themselves to grow. And each time they do, something powerful happens. Their confidence deepens, their resilience strengthens, and their belief in themselves becomes unshakable. Imagine the shift that happens when someone stops waiting for external permission to believe in their goals. Instead of hoping for validation, they begin with certainty. They decide success is not a distant dream, but an eventual reality. That simple yet profound decision creates a ripple effect, triggering intentional action, building momentum, and fostering a powerful internal belief that says, "This is happening." When you genuinely believe in your ability to succeed, you naturally begin to align your actions with that belief. You no longer second-guess every move. You act with purpose, and as that momentum builds, so does your confidence, fueling a cycle of growth that propels you forward. When your beliefs align consistently with your desired outcomes, belief itself becomes a powerful catalyst, fueling action, sharpening focus, and pushing you closer to your vision of success. Your mind, in this sense, becomes either your greatest ally or your most dangerous enemy. It could be a tool that constructs your future with precision or a weapon that quietly tears down every opportunity in its path. And here's the truth. That choice is entirely up to you. If your thoughts are dominated by doubt, negativity, and hesitation, your mind becomes a constant saboteur. It will find reasons to delay, to retreat, to play small. It will poke holes in your ambition and magnify every flaw, every uncertainty, until even the best opportunities seem out of reach. But when your mind is cultivated with intention, filled with thoughts of resilience, optimism, and possibility, it becomes an unstoppable force. It drives you forward, not just with effort, but with purpose and direction. To truly transform your mindset, start with awareness. Begin paying attention to your thoughts. What themes repeat? What beliefs linger just beneath the surface? If you notice patterns of doubt or fear, don't ignore them. Consciously replace them with empowering, positive alternatives. Make it a daily discipline. Incorporate habits that reinforce this shift. Practice mindfulness to anchor your awareness. Express gratitude to center your focus on what's working. Use visualization to create mental blueprints of the outcomes you desire. See your goals as already in motion. Picture the results you want with vivid clarity. Feel the success as if it's already yours. This imprints your subconscious mind with belief and direction. Speak your affirmations daily. Remind yourself of your capabilities, your goals, and your commitment to achieving them. This isn't just motivation, it's mental conditioning. And over time, it changes everything. Gradually, this consistent practice rewires your mind. Positivity becomes your default. Empowering thoughts become second nature. And that mindset, the one built through intention and repetition, begins producing real, visible outcomes. You'll notice shifts in your career, your relationships, your health, and your personal growth. It doesn't happen all at once, but it does happen. Ultimately, the most successful people in the world share one defining trait. They don't just react to life, they create it. They understand that their external world is shaped by their internal world. They know the mind, when properly trained, holds infinite potential just waiting to be unlocked. Now the question is, will you harness it? Embrace this fundamental truth. When you invest intentionally in your mindset, you begin to witness a profound transformation. Suddenly, opportunities multiply. Goals that once felt distant and unreachable begin to take shape, becoming vibrant and tangible parts of your reality. Step 3. Stop waiting for the right time. One of the most common reasons people let years slip through their fingers is because of a powerful illusion, the myth of perfect timing. They convince themselves that someday they'll begin. Someday, when life is less chaotic. When they have more time, more money, more experience, or more confidence. But here's the honest truth. The perfect time never comes. Life doesn't offer neatly packaged windows of opportunity. It's a swirling rhythm of ups and downs, filled with unpredictable moments, challenges, and constant change. Those who reach their goals aren't the ones who wait for ideal conditions. They're the ones who take action despite uncertainty. Procrastination often wears a clever disguise. It pretends to be logic. It whispers that waiting is responsible, that preparation must come before action. But more often than not, procrastination is simply fear dressed up as caution. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. These silent fears create invisible walls, keeping people stuck in place while time slips quietly by. The most successful individuals recognize this trap. They understand that hesitation is the silent enemy of progress. Instead of waiting for conditions to be right, they take initiative with what they have. They make mistakes, they learn, they adapt, and through this process, they grow. To them, progress matters far more than perfection. Every year, millions of people set bold goals, starting a business, getting fit, learning something new, or pursuing a career change. Yet only a small fraction follow through. Why? Because while most wait for the right time, the successful few decide to act, even when the path ahead is unclear. Setbacks will come, so will doubts and obstacles. But waiting for them to disappear only guarantees one thing: another year lost. The moment you begin, no matter how small that first step is, everything changes. Momentum starts to build. Doors you couldn't see before start to open. Confidence, once absent, begins to grow. And step by step, those things that once felt impossible start to become reality. This is how transformation begins, not with the perfect moment, but with your decision to act anyway. Transformation doesn't arrive all at once. It doesn't come from a single moment of inspiration or some magical breakthrough. Instead, it's built day by day through the decision to act, especially when fear, doubt, and imperfection try to stand in the way. Think for a moment about the most influential figures throughout history. Were they immune to uncertainty? Did they wait for flawless timing before they made their move? Absolutely not. They achieved greatness because they were willing to move forward in spite of uncertainty. They took risks, faced setbacks, and acted even when success felt far from guaranteed. Entrepreneurs launched businesses with barely enough capital. Artists created powerful works without waiting for the perfect idea or moment of inspiration. Athletes trained relentlessly, even on days when motivation was nowhere to be found. What ties these people together is simple. They didn't let procrastination decide their destiny. They acted. One of the most common and convincing excuses people use to delay action is the idea that they just need more time. But if we're honest, time is rarely the real issue. Priorities are. The hard truth is this: if something truly matters to you, you'll find a way to make it happen. People always make time for what they value. If someone can spend hours scrolling, binge watching, or getting lost in distractions, then they have time. The question isn't, do I have time? It's, is this important enough to earn my time? Another deceptive excuse is the belief that more knowledge, more experience, or more qualifications are needed before starting. Yes, preparation is important, but it should never become a shield for inaction. No one begins as an expert. The only path to experience is through doing. The real world is the best classroom, and action is the most effective teacher. Waiting until you feel completely ready is a trap. Readiness is not a prerequisite for growth. It's a result of growth. Mastery doesn't come from waiting. It comes from showing up, learning, adjusting, and pushing forward. And then there's confidence. For many, this is the biggest stumbling block. They believe they must feel confident before they start. But here's what most people overlook. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes because of action. It's not something you wait for. It's something you earn. The more you act, the more your skills grow. As competence increases, confidence follows. That's the natural order. But if you sit and wait for confidence to magically appear, you may be waiting forever. It doesn't arrive uninvited. The only way to build it is by moving forward, especially when you're uncertain, especially when it's uncomfortable. Among all the reasons people hesitate, fear of failure is perhaps the most paralyzing. No one likes the idea of falling short. But let's shift the perspective. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a necessary part of the process. Every failure teaches. Every mistake reveals something valuable. Each stumble becomes a stepping stone, showing you how to adjust, how to improve. The real mistake isn't failing. It's never starting at all. Those who achieve meaningful success don't avoid failure. They embrace it. They understand that setbacks are not stop signs. They're feedback. They use failure to refine their strategy, sharpen their thinking, and grow stronger. Meanwhile, those who fear failure remain stuck, often reliving the same regrets year after year. Another common trap is the belief that things will get easier with time. that in a few months, or maybe next year, life will somehow be more stable. That clarity will come. That conditions will be better. But this belief is just another illusion. Challenges don't vanish with time. They evolve. They shift. Waiting doesn't remove the obstacles. It just delays the opportunity. And the longer you wait, the heavier the regret becomes. The truth is, the most powerful decision you can make is to start now. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be perfect. The first step can be small. What matters is that it's taken. There will always be reasons to wait. Always a voice that says, maybe later. But those who rise above hesitation are the ones who make real progress. They're the ones who turn goals into results and dreams into reality. So if there's something important you've been postponing, stop waiting. The perfect time is a myth. Action is the only thing that makes progress possible. And the first step, however small, has the power to change everything. Step 4, prosperity. Fear is, without question, the number one force that holds people back from making progress. But it rarely announces itself directly. Instead, it shows up in disguise: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment. It quietly keeps individuals locked within the walls of their comfort zones. And the result? Another year goes by. Another cycle of untapped potential and lingering regret. But here's what separates those who remain stuck from those who rise. It's not that successful people are fearless. It's that they respond to fear differently. Rather than treating fear as a red light telling them to stop, high achievers see it as a signal, something to lean into, something to face and overcome. Every major transformation, every breakthrough worth fighting for, exists just beyond the edge of fear. The real danger of fear lies in its connection to inaction. The longer you wait, the more power fear gains. It thrives in silence. It feeds on hesitation, uncertainty, and the imagined worst-case scenarios that play out endlessly in your mind. But here's the simple, undeniable truth. Fear loses its power the moment you take action. Yes, the first step toward any meaningful goal is often the hardest, but it's also the most essential. Because once momentum begins to build, fear starts to shrink. And in its place, confidence begins to grow. One of the biggest myths about success is that it requires the absence of fear. That someday, fear will vanish, and then you'll be ready. But that moment never truly arrives. Fear doesn't disappear, it becomes manageable. The people who succeed are not those who feel no fear, but those who act in spite of it. Waiting until you feel brave enough is a trap. It's an illusion that keeps countless dreams on hold. The only real way to weaken fear's grip is to take action while it's still present. Ironically, the thing most feared, failure, is not the opposite of success at all. It's part of the process. Every successful person you admire has failed, often multiple times, before reaching their goals. The difference is they didn't let failure define them. They didn't interpret mistakes as signs to stop. They saw them as signs to learn. Each misstep became a lesson. Each obstacle helped refine their approach. And each setback brought them closer to success, not further from it. Those who are paralyzed by the fear of failure often avoid taking meaningful risks altogether. But that avoidance leads to stagnation. And over time, stagnation hardens into regret. Here's the truth. Setbacks are temporary. But quitting? That makes failure permanent. History is filled with powerful examples of individuals who encountered failure, but refused to let it define them. Take Thomas Edison, for instance. He carried out more than 1,000 unsuccessful experiments before finally inventing the light bulb. Most would have given up after the first 100, maybe even the first 10. But Edison didn't let repeated failure become a stopping point. He saw it as part of the process. Or consider Walt Disney. Before building one of the most iconic entertainment empires in the world, he was fired from a newspaper for supposedly lacking creativity. Imagine if he had let that moment determine his path. Instead, he used it as fuel. These people weren't fearless. They simply chose not to let fear dictate their future. They understood that success isn't built on perfection. It's built on resilience. the ability to keep going, to adapt, to learn, and to persist even when things don't go according to plan. One of the most effective ways to overcome fear is by taking immediate action. The longer you wait, the louder fear becomes. It multiplies in silence. Hesitation feeds it, but action disrupts it. Even the smallest step forward can start to shift everything. Think about it. Someone who dreams of starting a business but feels paralyzed by fear doesn't need to launch a company overnight. They can start small by researching the industry, reaching out to a mentor, or simply writing down a rough plan. That alone can break the mental freeze. The same goes for someone afraid of public speaking. They don't have to step onto a big stage first. They can begin by speaking in front of a mirror, then a friend, then a small group. Each step chips away at fear's power, replacing it with growing confidence. Confidence isn't something people are born with. It's something they build through repeated, intentional action. And the more often a person steps beyond their comfort zone, the more that comfort zone begins to expand. What once felt terrifying eventually feels natural. That's the power of momentum. It's a self-reinforcing cycle. Action reduces fear. Less fear leads to more action. And more action builds experience, which becomes the foundation for lasting confidence. The key is to focus on progress, not perfection. Those who wait to feel completely ready often wait forever. But those who move forward despite their doubts, they gain the experience and skills necessary to grow and succeed. Another crucial part of overcoming fear is learning to shift your mindset. Rather than viewing fear as something to avoid, view it as a signal. It's not an obstacle, it's an opportunity. Every fear, every challenge is a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. The most successful people are not those who escape fear. They are those who embrace it. They understand that fear often signals growth. It means they're stepping into new territory, pushing their boundaries, evolving. And in the end, it's the willingness to step into discomfort that separates those who achieve greatness from those who settle for less, from those who choose to settle for mediocrity. It's also essential to realize something that often goes unnoticed. Most fears are exaggerated. The mind has a tendency to imagine the worst-case scenarios, spinning stories that are far more dramatic than reality. People fear being embarrassed, judged, or failing publicly. But in truth, most of these imagined outcomes never materialize. Here's the harsh but liberating truth. Most people are far too consumed with their own lives to dwell on someone else's mistakes. While you may replay a misstep in your mind for days, others will likely forget it by tomorrow. And even if a mistake is noticed, the sting is temporary. The lesson it leaves behind, however, is lasting. Every error becomes experience. Every stumble, a source of wisdom. If you truly want the next year to be different, the decision starts today. Fear can no longer be an excuse. You must choose to take action, even when it's uncomfortable, even when your voice shakes or your hands tremble. You must begin to see fear not as a wall, but as a doorway. Every challenge you face, every risk you take, and every failure you endure is moving you closer to the success you seek. The choice is stark and simple. Remain trapped by fear or move through it. Those who view fear as a natural part of the process, who accept it and walk alongside it, achieve more than they ever imagined possible. Because the truth is, the most extraordinary achievements are never born from comfort. They're claimed by those who dared to act, even when they were scared. And that decision, to act anyway, can begin today. Not tomorrow, not someday, right now. This is the moment to move beyond fear. Step 5. Surround yourself with the right people. Your environment matters more than you may realize. The people you spend the most time with have a direct and powerful impact on your mindset, your motivation, and ultimately your success. Whether you notice it or not, their energy becomes part of your own. Their habits begin to influence yours. Their outlook starts to color how you see the world. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, by people who lack ambition, make excuses, or drain your energy, it becomes incredibly difficult to grow. Their doubts, their complaints, and their resistance to change create a climate where progress is stifled progress. In many environments, mediocrity becomes the norm, not because people lack potential, but because they're surrounded by others who expect very little from themselves and those around them. But everything changes when you step into a circle of individuals who are ambitious, disciplined, and driven by purpose. When you're around people who are constantly aiming higher, success becomes the new standard. Their mindset, their habits, and their relentless pursuit of progress raise the bar. Without even realizing it, you're pulled upward by their momentum. Their energy inspires, their consistency challenges you, and their achievements remind you of what's possible. One of the fastest ways to elevate your life is to upgrade your environment, especially the people within it. Those who consistently reach higher levels of success understand the importance of association. They don't leave their social circles to chance. Instead, they build them with intention. They seek out mentors, people who have walked the path and can guide them forward. They join mastermind groups filled with like-minded individuals who push, challenge, and hold them accountable. They create networks that not only support their growth, but demand it. Accountability becomes a tool, not a burden. Because when you're surrounded by winners, mediocrity no longer feels acceptable. It feels out of place. You rise to the level of your environment. On the flip side, those who stay stuck often do so because they stay tethered to the wrong influences. They remain in social circles that reinforce complacency, validate excuses, and resist change. These environments make it easy to settle, to play small, and to believe that progress is for someone else. The difference between growth and stagnation is often found in one word: association. Success is contagious, but so is failure. The beliefs, habits, and work ethic of those around you begin to shape your own, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. This is why one of the most important decisions you can make is choosing who you allow into your daily life. Relationships are not neutral. Each one is either helping you move forward or holding you back. So be intentional. Your time and energy are your most valuable resources. Invest them wisely. Spend time with people who inspire you to grow, who challenge your limiting beliefs, and who support you through difficult seasons. And just as important, create distance from those who drain your energy, spread negativity, or discourage your dreams. Every relationship is either a bridge to your future or a barrier in your way. Influence matters, and one of the most powerful tools for long-term success is mentorship. A mentor is not just someone who gives advice. They are someone who has already walked the path you aspire to follow. They carry experience, perspective, and insights that can dramatically reduce your learning curve and help you avoid common pitfalls. The right mentor can help you sidestep costly mistakes before they happen. They can guide you through setbacks with clarity and wisdom, and they often open doors to opportunities that would otherwise remain invisible. Successful individuals don't wait passively to find mentors. They actively seek them out. Why? Because they understand a simple truth. Learning from someone else's journey is far more efficient than trying to figure everything out through trial and error. In the same way, mastermind groups and professional networks offer enormous value. Being part of a community that shares your ambitions creates a powerful sense of accountability. When you're surrounded by people who are pursuing excellence, settling for less becomes uncomfortable. You naturally rise to meet the standards set by those around you. These groups do more than just hold you accountable. They provide motivation, emotional support, and honest feedback. They remind you that you're not alone in your challenges. Everyone struggles, but with the right mindset and strategy, those struggles can be overcome, and often faster than you think. On the other hand, negative environments have the exact opposite effect. Spending too much time around people who constantly complain, procrastinate, or avoid responsibility can have a slow but steady impact on your own behavior. Without realizing it, you begin to adopt the same patterns. You normalize mediocrity. You internalize the belief that success might not be possible for someone like you. The mind is incredibly adaptable. It absorbs the standards of its environment. If everyone around you accepts stagnation, it becomes harder to push beyond it. That's why so many people stay stuck in jobs they don't love, in unhealthy routines, or in relationships that hold them back. Their surroundings reinforce their limitations. Recognizing this influence is the first step toward changing it. Recognizing the power of social influence is only the beginning. Awareness alone doesn't bring change, action does. If you want to upgrade your circle, it requires deliberate and intentional effort. It starts with one crucial step, taking an honest look at your current relationships. Ask yourself, who are the 5 people I spend the most time with? Do they challenge me to grow or keep me comfortable in stagnation? Do they inspire bold action or do they quietly reinforce my fears and insecurities? These questions matter because the answers will reveal whether your current environment is lifting you toward your goals or quietly pulling you away from them. If the realization hits that your current circle is holding you back, then it's time for change. And that change begins with courage. Seek out new connections, people who reflect the mindset, values, and ambition you want to cultivate. Attend networking events, join organizations aligned with your vision, enroll in personal development programs, or reach out to individuals whose energy and purpose resonate with your own. But while you're building that new environment, another step is just as important: setting boundaries. You don't necessarily need to cut people off entirely, but you do need to protect your mindset. Exposure to constant negativity, even if unintentional, can be draining. It can dilute your drive and dampen your belief in what's possible. You can still be kind, still be respectful, while limiting the influence of those whose patterns don't serve your growth. The goal isn't isolation. It's intentional elevation. The aim is to build an environment that cultivates purpose, positivity, and ambition. A space where growth is encouraged and progress becomes normal. Think about it. 1 year from now, your life will be the result of the habits you practice, the thoughts you nurture, and the people you keep close. If your environment is filled with those who challenge you to be better, you're far more likely to rise. But if it's filled with excuses, complacency, and limitation, another year will pass with little to show for it. The choice is clear. Level up your circle, and results will follow. Choosing the right environment may be the single most important decision you make, because in the end, it could mean the difference between another year of excuses and a year of extraordinary growth. If you want to experience true professional growth, you must be intentional about the relationships you build. Seek out people who don't just support you, but who also challenge you, push your limits, and inspire you to rise beyond your current level. Invest your time and energy in those who dream big, take bold action, and refuse to settle for anything less than excellence. Success, after all, is never a solo journey. It's built through connection, through aligning yourself with individuals who reflect the future you want to create. When you spend time with people who embody the mindset, values, and work ethic you admire, you begin to adopt those qualities yourself. Your environment becomes a mirror of your future. And when that environment is strong, focused, and forward-moving, your goals start to feel not only possible, but inevitable. Step 6, commit to daily progress. Success isn't built in a single leap. It's built through consistent daily effort. One of the most common reasons people fall short of their goals is because they expect fast results. They want to skip the process. They chase shortcuts and search for overnight success. But when the big breakthrough doesn't come quickly, they lose hope and stop. The truth? Real transformation comes from small, steady steps. Progress might feel slow at first. You might wonder if you're getting anywhere. But those who commit to improving just a little each day often achieve the most extraordinary results over time. The secret to long-term success isn't one massive move. It's the little things done consistently. It's about building habits that align with your goals and sticking to them when it's hard. This means setting daily intentions, following a focused morning routine, reading, learning, and feeding your mind with ideas that push you forward, and taking at least one meaningful step toward your bigger vision every single day. Instead of getting overwhelmed by how far there is to go, the most successful individuals ask, what can I do today They break the journey down into manageable pieces and focus on showing up step by step. And as those small wins add up, they create something powerful, momentum. And with momentum comes confidence, clarity, and acceleration. But to build momentum, you have to stop making excuses. Excuses are the enemies of progress. They're easy to reach for fatigue, distractions, fear, self-doubt. Life will always offer reasons to pause. But those who rise above know that action matters more than comfort. They understand a critical truth. It's not motivation that drives success. It's discipline. Motivation comes and goes. But discipline, practiced daily, builds results that last. Motivation comes and goes. It fades with time, with stress, with setbacks. But discipline? That's what builds real, lasting success. The people who achieve meaningful goals don't wait for ideal conditions. They act despite fear, despite obstacles, despite uncertainty. A year from now, your life will either look very different or feel exactly the same. The deciding factor won't be chance. It will be the small, daily choices you make starting now. Just imagine, what if every single day you committed to taking one meaningful step toward your vision? Reading 10 pages of a powerful book, moving your body for 30 minutes, practicing a skill that sharpens your craft, reaching out to someone who might help you grow. One action a day may not seem like much, but compounded over weeks and months, it changes everything. These small habits become your foundation. Over time, they multiply into extraordinary results. Progress doesn't require perfection. It just requires consistency. You don't need to wait another year, hoping for things to change. The opportunity to grow, to act, and to move forward is available to you right now. The only question is, will you take it? Start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment, and don't wait for permission. You already have what you need to begin. Your transformation doesn't have to be loud or dramatic. It just has to begin with one action right now that brings you closer to the life you want. Make today count. Let it be the first step of your incredible journey. Don't let another year slip by unnoticed. Make this year the one that changes everything. Wishing you strength, happiness, and continued growth. And don't forget to subscribe to Mindset Daily for more powerful insights just like this.